The Grand Lotus ballroom of the Shanghai Ritz-Carlton glittered like a dragon's hoard. Light spilled from 100 chandeliers, each crystal droplet reflecting the gold veins in the marble floor below. Silk banners of crimson and jade cascaded from 40-foot ceilings embroidered with ancient Chinese proverbs that shimmered in the candlelight like living fire. The air was perfumed with osmanthus blossoms, aged cognac, and old money. Every chair at the circular banquet tables cost $50,000. Every guest wore a fortune on their wrist. At the head of the room sat Victor Langford, 62, years old, silver-haired, and very aware that he was the richest man in the room. His watch alone could buy a townhouse in Chelsea. His suit, a bespoke Brioni, fit him like armor. He laughed with the booming self-assurance of someone who'd never been told no, and meant it. Victor was the keynote speaker at the Sino-American Tech Summit, the darling of Silicon Valley, the man who had turned a dusty garage startup into a $2 billion artificial intelligence empire. Tonight, he was poised to close a $400 million joint venture with Huacore Industries, China's largest semiconductor firm. A deal that would cement his company as the undisputed leader of global AI infrastructure. Across the polished banquet table sat Mei-Ling Jiang, CEO of Huacore. 45, sharp as glass, with eyes the color of black ice and a posture that commanded silence. Her words were measured, deliberate, calculated to the syllable. Between them lay a single contract, one signature away from history. The only problem? The translator had vanished. Food poisoning, someone said. Nerves, someone else guessed. Or maybe something else entirely. Victor's CFO, a nervous man named Bradley with the look of a frightened ferret in an expensive tie, leaned close, voice trembling. Sir, the standby interpreter's stuck in traffic. We're blind here. Victor waved him off, swirling his 1945 Chateau d'Yquem like it was lemonade. Relax, Brad. I've closed deals in war zones with less. We'll improvise. He scanned the ballroom for a solution, or at least a distraction. His eyes landed on a young black woman refilling water glasses nearby. Black vest, white shirt, name tag, Jasmine. She moved with a quiet grace that didn't belong in a room full of billionaires. Her posture was poised, balanced, like someone used to command, not service. Victor grinned, sensing entertainment. You, he called, voice cutting through the hum of conversation. Server girl, you speak Chinese? The laughter and chatter died instantly. 200 heads turned. Jasmine froze mid-pour. The water trembled inside the crystal pitcher. Victor leaned back, his grin widening. Come on, sweetheart. You're what, from Brooklyn? Compton? Bet you took Mandarin in high school to impress a boy. Give it a try. Translate one sentence. If you nail it, he slapped the table, delighted by his own showmanship. I'll give your mother my job, CFO. $2.8 million a year. Corner office. Benefits. Sound good? Laughter rippled through the room. Sharp, nervous, eager to please him. Phones rose. Someone started recording. But not Mei-Ling. She didn't laugh. Her expression didn't change. Only her eyes narrowed ever so slightly. Jasmine set the pitcher down, slowly, deliberately. Her hands didn't shake. She straightened, took one calm breath, and began to walk toward the head table. The crowd parted for her. not out of respect, but curiosity. Victor chuckled, mistaking her composure for submission. "Go ahead, baby girl. Say something in Chinese. Impress me." Jasmine stopped 3 feet from him. She looked at Mei Ling first, then bowed. Perfectly, 15 degrees, palms together. And then she spoke. "Zhang Nu Shi, gan xie nin de nai xin." "Ms. Zhang, thank you for your patience." The Mandarin was flawless. Precise tones, unbroken rhythm, the unmistakable cadence of someone trained at Tsinghua University. A collective gasp rippled through the ballroom. Victor's smirk faltered. Jasmine continued, her voice calm and cutting. "Lang Fu de 先生，声称他能听懂中文，但显然他连最基本的理解都不懂." Mr. Langford claims he understands Chinese, but clearly he doesn't grasp even the most basic courtesy. Mei Ling's lips curved, almost, into a smile. Victor's face flushed crimson. "What the hell did she just say?" he barked, glancing at Bradley. Before Bradley could answer, Jasmine turned to him and switched languages. Her English came out crisp, polished, Ivy League clean. "You offered my mother your job. She's a pediatric surgeon at Johns Hopkins. She saves children's lives before breakfast. She doesn't need your charity." A ripple of murmurs swept through the crowd. Phones flashed again. Some were streaming live. Jasmine turned back to Mei Ling, her tone shifting back into perfect Mandarin. 合同第14条只是产权归属问题。朗福的先生试图将联合开发改为独家授权。这是欺诈。Article 14. Intellectual property ownership. Mr. Langford has altered the wording from joint development to exclusive license. This is fraud. The color drained from Victor's face. Mei Ling's eyes widened. She flipped open the contract, scanning the pages. Her finger stopped midway down. Her jaw tightened. Bradley, reading the translation on his phone, turned pale. She's calling you a liar," he whispered, in perfect Mandarin. The ballroom erupted into chaos. Gasps, murmurs, flashes of phones, the buzz of live posts being uploaded. A CNBC journalist near the back tweeted, "Black server just exposed US billionaire in fluent Chinese. Deal collapsing live. Wang's Shanghai summit." Victor slammed his palm on the table, glass shattering. "This is a stunt. She's a plant." Jasmine reached into her vest pocket and pulled out a business card. Matte black, embossed in gold. She placed it gently on the table beside the torn contract. Jasmine Okonkwo, Chief Linguistic Officer, Wakor Industries, PhD, Computational Linguistics, Stanford University, fluent in Mandarin, Cantonese, French, Arabic. A silence as deep as snowfall fell over the room. Mei Ling stood. Her chair barely made a sound as she pushed it back. She bowed to Jasmine, deeply, fully, a gesture that sent shockwaves through the room. Then she turned to Victor. Her English was as cold as steel. "Mr. Langford, your translator was not sick. She was fired for incompetence. Ms. Okonkwo has been my lead negotiator for 6 months. She wrote half this contract in Mandarin, while you were too busy mocking her uniform." Victor's mouth opened, then closed again, like a man gasping for air underwater. Jasmine leaned closer, voice steady but heavy with restrained fury. "You assumed I was the help because I'm black. You assumed I couldn't speak because I pour water. You assumed wrong." Then, With slow precision, she picked up the contract. The one Victor had manipulated, and tore it cleanly in half. The sound echoed through the ballroom like a gunshot. Mei Ling reached into her briefcase. She produced a second document, the real one. She signed it, then looked Victor squarely in the eyes. 我们不需要你的钱，我们需要尊重. We don't need your money. We need respect. She turned to Jasmine, extended her hand, and smiled. Not politely, but proudly. The room erupted again. Not with chaos this time, but applause. Genuine, thunderous applause. Some clapped to show support, others to mask their shame. Victor didn't move. His empire, his ego, had fractured in the span of 5 minutes. Jasmine turned to leave, but halfway to the door, she paused. By the way, she said, turning back, voice soft but lethal. My mother, Dr. Okonkwo. She's on the board of Langford Technology's largest institutional investor. She'll be voting no on your re-election next quarter. And then she was gone. The ballroom door swung shut behind her, muffling the applause into a distant roar. Victor stood there, staring at the torn paper on the table. Around him, the laughter, and whispers returned. But this time, none of them were for him. 3 months later, headlines blazed across the business world. Jasmine Okonkwo, named CEO of Huacor America, former linguist to lead U.S. expansion. The same photograph appeared everywhere. Jasmine standing beside Mei Ling, both smiling, both holding the freshly signed Huacor Stanford AI Ethics Initiative Charter. The image was shared millions of times. The story of a server girl who became the face of a new era in global business. When asked about Victor Langford, she only said, "Power is language," and too many men forget how to speak it with respect. As for Victor, he vanished from the front pages. His board ousted him. His company's stock fell. Rumor had it he took time off for personal reflection. 6 months later, the next Sino-American Tech Summit convened in the same ballroom. The chandeliers still glittered, the banners still whispered their proverbs. And when the guests arrived, a new server refilled their glasses. Tall, silver-haired, wearing a black vest and a polite, distant smile. If anyone looked closely, they might have recognized him. Victor Langford, former billionaire, now pouring coffee. He said nothing. Just kept refilling glasses as the applause rose for the keynote speaker, Dr. Jasmine Okonkwo, the woman who had turned humiliation into history. She began her address with a single sentence, in Mandarin, then in English. Language is not just words. It's power, culture, and truth. When you misuse it, you lose it. The ballroom was silent again, the same way it had been that night ago, when the world saw what respect truly sounded like. And this time, no one laughed.